video, I'm going to talk about how I meal plan for our family of 4 that lives up in the Pacific Northwest. Usually on this channel, I'll share cute little vlogs of our family and different things that I want to remember that I enjoy. Because I'm doing kind of like a food kick, I just ended an Ellen Fisher series. I want to talk about how it is that I'm planning our meals for our family to reduce our waste, eat more of a whole food, plant-based type of a menu, and save money. Now, to stay really organized, because I'm naturally just kind of a all over the place person, I have to work really hard to make sure I'm on my game. I've got it going. So I use something called Trello.com to do that. I plan my meals a week at a time. I'm trying to do a month at a time, that way that I don't have to always be thinking about food. But Trello helps me to keep all of my stuff in one place. It's all nicely organized, it's color-coded, it includes images, and it's easy to pull up from my phone, from my desktop. It syncs with Google Calendar. It makes a lot of sense in my life. I don't use a paper planner for dates and appointments and that type of a thing. I do use a one sheet that I've made myself. I've used it for the last 4 years along with Trello. Helps me kind of look at my day. I write down the meals that I've planned in Trello, so I have that paper record, and it just kind of sets the day in motion. But other than that one sheeter, I don't really use paper planning. So if you're a paper planner, I challenge you to just check this out, because the nice thing about this is it's going to reduce the amount of paper clutter, which I just can't stand. And the best thing is that you have an archive of this, so that if one week you don't want to plan meals, you have, 5 or 6 weeks that you've already put all of your meal plan in, and you can just recycle that one again. Here it is, Trello.com. These are my boards. So with Trello, you have teams. I have a personal profile, and then within that one, I create teams for everything. You can do personal boards, which you can see here. I have like my big item to-do list, like little things that I don't feel are necessarily related to a specific area within my life. So a team for you might be something like, if you're like me and you're trying to create content online and spread a message and blah, 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 you would create that X, Y, and Z name as a team. So for me, it's plant-based reduced waste. It's my YouTube vlogs and everything that I do here online. Another area is home executive. It's a cute little title I gave myself based off of the Sidetracked Home Executive book that I read a few years ago. That has its own little board, which has my meal plan in it. But for right now, it's just a starred board, so it stays up at the top. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that. Once you've created all of your teams, you do it up here on the plus sign, create that team. You can do home executive, you can do stay-at-home mom, you can do frazzled mom, full-time, I don't care. So you've created your team, and theoretically, you can share this with your spouse or whoever else helps you out at home. So let's go ahead and look at the team. We'll go over to my home executive team. So here's some examples of boards I have. So here's the boards. You create a board then. What is a board? Let's look at my food board. This is where I keep all of my menus. It's not the one that you're going to look at, which, by the way, if this is all too overwhelming for you, I have a link below in the description that you can just go ahead and use the board that I've created in Plant-Based Reduced Waste as your blueprint. You copy the board over or just watch it, or just you can use it yourself. You use it within your own Trello profile, and that way you can use the checklist, you can move things around, you can add, if you want to, you can add meat, you can remove grains. It's a lot of flexibility, and I think it's a nice tool for me to be able to share our meal plans with other people. If I'm going to be doing this myself and spend hours doing it, I'd love for other people to benefit from it as well. Here I have my menu that is just like the foundational items within a list. These are all lists here, and within each list is a card. On cards, you're able to add labels, checklists, and store any other information that you want to. So let's go ahead and just check out this ingredients card. You can see that these are labels, the color pieces up at the top. Those labels have no meaning other than I just want to brightly color coordinate that top to make it known that that's where the ingredients are. When I'm busy in a shopping and I'm in a grocery store, I say, ooh, colored, and I don't have to think about it. Just click on it, and I have the checklist on my phone right there. Checklists are over here on the side. You can add that. Sometimes I will add checklists based off of the location within the grocery store if I want to spend the time to do that. I'm trying to do that within my plant-based reduced waste board for you guys to use. You can also create it based off of stores. So if you're going to multiple stores, if you're trying to reduce your waste, there's a likelihood or greater chance that you're going to be going to multiple stores, so you can organize it based off of stores too. You can drag these all around here. These are just ingredients that I copy and pasted from a recipe. So let's go ahead and look. These are meal plans that I have on Plant-Based Reduced Waste board. You can copy each list and move the old ones over, retitle it, and repurpose that list. I also have a template set up for the list so that you're not color coordinating these each time. And I'll include the template on the board too that I have below if you want to copy this over, and then you can just use that template too. This has worked really well for me, this template, because it's all just very visual and I can see it's easily like broken into, so I can just bring that app up, check out the list, and know where I'm at within the week. Okay. So let's use an example. I did a French meal plan week. I shared it on my Instagram and on plantbasedreducedwaste.com, and it was really, really fun. And to do that, what I did was I set up an ingredients list, of course, but I had each week in the cards, I set up a new recipe. So rather than what I've done in the past, which is I keep a recipe archive, which I email all of the recipes I enjoy over to that list, and I can tell you how to do that too if you want to know. I email it over to that list and we'll drag and drop to the meal plan based off of any specifications. I can find things by searching or filtering the labels. So for this instance, I'm using new recipes that I'm just searching for while I'm sitting down and menu planning. And to do that, what I did was go over to a recipe I'm interested in doing. I copy the link from the recipe, go back over to the Trello card, paste it into the description, copy and paste the blog title or the recipe name up at the top, and then I just drag and drop this photo or whatever photo it is that I want to use that will show me the picture onto the Trello card. Super, super easy and very visual. That makes it easy to look at and find. I would also, if I were you, include some additional descriptors that you would make it so that's easy to find. If it's something that you want to do, like labeling, adding low FODMAP, that's what I do for my ebook. So I had an Ellen Fisher series. I'll include links below too so you can watch that. I have her ebook, and for example, I do a little screenshot of the recipe that our family likes. I pop it into a Trello card and put the label Ellen. There's so many different shortcuts for that too. Like for labeling, you hover over a card and hit L. It's awesome. There's one for due dates. So for that, let's say that I've set up my snack, my dinner, and everything. And then also what I do, I set up that once I'm done and I've already created my card with it, I'll just go zoop. I'll copy all the ingredients. I'll go over to my little ingredient card, which is also in that same list, but I don't have it here set up today. I'll just go down to where you create a checklist item. Add item, paste that, hit enter or add, and voila, it adds. It's pretty awesome. And then what I'll do later is just kind of rearrange items and then change the quantities of whatever it is based off of how many, and then delete things to make it easier. For me, sometimes I don't have time to do that, and it's just kind of like searching through things. Now you have your recipes all lined up into your list. You're going to go over to Show Menu, and you're going to add a power-up for Google Calendar. And that's if you use Google Calendar. I do. And there's also a way to do it with the iCalendar within iPhones. That was something I did too, but use Google Calendar now. And you would then go over to a card. Oh, first let me show you how I do this. I go to the card, you hit D, or go over here and edit it out and change the due date, assign it to whenever it is that you are going to be making it, which by the way, if you archive these and don't mess with the due date, how awesome is it to look back at last year, which I wasn't doing last year. I just thought of it in August. You can look back at last year and see how you were eating in the year before, or even like if you have gut issues, if you're keeping track of your meals and say, oh, this is when I felt best, is when I was eating this, and you can look at that. You change the due date, that gets synced over to your Google Calendar if you set it up correctly. Within here, you can see that there's all sorts of ways to do that. Here's an iCalendar feed. So yeah, it works really well with iPhones now. So you can see that it's all broken down to, I have all the national food holidays up through the end of January on the Plant-Based Reduced Waste thing too. I really enjoy themes and having fun with our menu planning, especially with homeschooling. We can incorporate what we're learning in school into our food. It's a really fun experience for the kids. Here everything's color coordinated, it's by date, and here you can even, there's just so much you can do with Trello. That's how I set up my food board. If you have questions, make sure that you comment below and let me know. I'm happy to walk you guys through anything or create an additional tutorial to this, but if it's too much for you right now, just copy my board. To do that, what you would do, plant-based, reduce waste, you would then, it's all public, you would go over here and you would copy board. Copy it, assign it to a team, whatever team you choose. You can choose to keep the cards. And then create it over on your own, and that way you can use these checklists when you are shopping, and you don't have to, you can use the checklist while you're shopping too, but you won't be able to check off items and have that satisfaction of having it checked off. But, so yeah, leave your comments below, let me know your questions, or if you want any other tutorials on the Trello way of doing this. I have more vlogs coming up of like our family running around Washington, so make sure that you subscribe to our channel and see how all of this pans out in our day-to-day life and what that looks like. All right, thanks guys, bye!